You done lost your damn mind. When you get your damn mind, you call me.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know this beat, it's a girl KylerB coming at you with a new video. So today we're going to be talking about Love Island Season 10, Episode 32. And as we all know, I don't count the unseen bits, so that's why it's numbered this way. Anyway, this episode, another snooze fest episode. So after Scott's and Abby's conversation during the day, we just fast forward to evening time, and they're getting ready for the nighttime and whatnot. So then Mitchell was like, "Oh, what's your plan of action, Scott?" And Scott was like, "I'm gonna talk to you." So basically Scott told Mitchell, like, hey, he's gonna get to know Abby, if that's all right with you. Basically just see, where this thing goes, because she did say she was interested. Mitchell said it was cool. Anyway, they have their conversation during the nighttime, and the guys are like, trying to egg on Mitchell, basically saying like, oh, should be worried. And Mitchell's just like, no, he's not worried. Sammy's trying to egg it on. Uzi's trying to egg it on. It is what it is. Next thing you know, there's a recoupling. And the recoupling, there's 18 people in that villa. That villa is packed. 18 people are in that villa. Okay? So they do recoupling, and basically Molly and Zachariah are coupled up. Tyreek and Ella are coupled up. Uzi and Kady coupled up. Elam and Catherine are coupled up. Whitney and Lockham are coupled up. Mitchell went before Scott, so he obviously sticked with Abby. Sammy picked and he chose Jess. And then Scott is last. Before Scott, it was Montel and Leah, of course. And then Scott went last, and he basically coupled up with Amber. He basically said in his speech that it was just, basically they're friends. Like, he has no interest in her at all. He didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't, add no extra stuff to it to make it seem like it could be something. He said they were friends. That's it. He didn't do anything. So everybody, are all, I guess, loved up except for Scott and Amber, because basically out of the 9 couples, 8 of them are all hugged up, loved up, kissing something and whatnot. Kady and Uzi had their first kiss on the terrace, where Kady actually initiated the kiss. Sammy basically told Jess in his speech that he's closed off with Jess. Yeah, Lockham may have said something about being closed off, but it seems like he's good with Whitney, and he basically was saying that he could see himself outside with Whitney. We also saw Catherine and her dude. It is what it is. Montel and Leah seem they're cool. Tyreek and Ella, Tyreek is like he can't wait to go home, quote unquote, meaning sharing a bed with Ella. So everybody seems to be all loved up, quote unquote, the Love Island stage now, because there's only 2 weeks left of the show. But Scott and Amber are literally a friendship couple, so we can't even feel happy for them, because there's no happiness coming from there. So everybody going to sleep. We see a pillow fort in between Scott and Amber's bed. I'm just like, this was kind of funny because everybody's kissing. I think even Uzi and Kady were kissing in bed. So I was like, oh, okay. So next morning, basically everybody is, I guess, in their couples. They're coupled up. Everybody's paired up. There's no singletons in the villa anymore. So Sammy and Tyreek, they decided to make their girls breakfast. So basically made a yogurt bowl and whatever. And then they came upstairs to the terrace and were like, okay, we're going to have a double date with the, yogurt. And, basically said that, they're basically saying that they had the, they're the strongest couple in there, quote unquote, because they're the longest standing couple in there. Because besides the Molly and Zachariah, but then, even then, that's basically what they said. Because I don't even think Molly speaks nowadays. So then we see Whitney and Catherine were waiting on Elam and Lockham to make their girls breakfast, and they had breakfast too. So they had 2 double dates in there. Everybody all having their little double date breakfast and whatnot. Yeah, if Scott ever made Catherine breakfast, we never saw it, so that's what it is. They made their girls breakfast. So we hear Molly talk to Kady, and I guess they were talking about how, Sammy closed it off with Jess. So she basically was like talking about how, oh, if you want Zachariah to do the same, and Molly was like, me and Zachariah are closed off, like we're good. So Kady comes back and tells, I think, Whitney and Leah and who else, and we basically said, did you guys know that Molly and Zachariah are closed off? And they're like, oh, we didn't know. We didn't know this. We didn't know this. And then all Whitney had to say was, oh, shout out to Molly, or shout out to them. So they really didn't even care about, Molly and Zach being closed off, but they were like, I think Kady like told the girls, and I think she even told, I think, the rest of the girls, and she was just like, they were just like, Molly doesn't even say nothing to us. And I'm just like, I mean, Molly doesn't have to tell you guys anything, but the thing is that she felt, but you can obviously tell that how after Molly came back on the show, she obviously knows the perception of her, and she's changing to fit a better perception. You obviously know that she keeps to herself. She doesn't really speak too much. She got her guy back. She's not talking. She's not going to be in the drama. Because I think a lot of people was saying that she should have speaked up about certain things or whatnot because she was there. But, she's keeping to herself. I guess she doesn't want to be in the drama. She's just glad that she got her man. And they really stay to herself. You don't really hear from them too much at all. Okay? So after that, they basically got the text to do the challenge of the day, and for some odd reason, Whitney and Lockham were hosting, which I'm just like, if we heard that Scott is in a friendship couple of Amber, basically, why on earth are Whitney and Lockham are hosting instead of the friendship couple? Like, it was giving setup. But anyway, there were some shady remarks. in the challenge. Tyreek basically shaded Kady and Uzi and basically said that, how Uzi came in for Ella, and then, how Kady was like she doesn't want to be second best, but obviously she's second best to Uzi because now they're trying to be in the couple right now. So there was shade, and I was like, okay, Tabby, she got some shade too, and she threw it to she threw it to Scott and Amber. She was like how Scott didn't want to get to know her during Casa Amor, but now that he's vulnerable, he wants to get to know her. And I'm just like, didn't you not decided to decided to pull him for a chat and talk to him and actually told him that you were open to getting to know him and giving all these laughs and kikis and ha-has, but then you want to throw shade in front of the entire villa that, oh, now because he's vulnerable, now he wants to get to know me. I mean, what is he like? If he did something wrong, like, let me know, because he was basically, as you know, he was focusing on Catherine. He didn't know Catherine was going to recouple, and because now that relationship is basically, it's gone. I mean, in terms of the villa, it's done. So, with that being said, he has to form another connection. And he seems like you would probably be, more receptive to getting to know him. And you were. So throwing that into his face is kind of like, what are you doing? But anyway, she did throw that in his face. I think Sammy and Jess threw some shade to Scott. And he was just like, oh, you could have said something nicer to Amber in that recoupling speech and da-da-da-da. Because I guess, they were like, oh, he just basically said they were friends. Like, he was just blunt. He wasn't trying to, like, go around the, the bush of a fit. He just basically said, you know what, if I could have recoupled somebody else, he would have. Like, he didn't want to pick Amber at all. So, Next thing you know, towards the end of the challenge, because Kady and Uzi end up winning the challenge, and they were basically throwing like beach balls at everybody's throwing beach balls at Kady and Uzi, and I guess they were throwing the ball so hard, like Tyreek and Ella were throwing the ball so hard. So I guess after the challenge was over, Kady was like, "Why don't you and Ella put that much energy in your relationship?" So that was a bit harsh. So, Ella was like, after they came back from the challenge and started to debrief it, Ella was just like, I'm not even going to give her, a reaction and whatnot. I'm not even going to give her a reaction. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, it seems like Tyreek and Ella are beefing with Kady because they were, like, set up in groups. And they're basically like, Ella was just like, I'm not even going to be her friend anymore because if her words don't match her actions or whatever, like if she's not supportive of the situation, da da da. And I was just like, oh, they really beefing.
Just deeps like every single round. That round will be done, and then Kady said a little comment.
What she said at the end as well, she's like, oh, why don't you put that much work into your relationship?
She just always wants to be involved in drama, so I'm not even going to entertain her. I'm not going to give her the satisfaction.
Oh, Ella being the bigger person.
She just wants to stir the pot. It's just to keep my distance from Kady, because I thought we were friends. She doesn't stand on her words at all, so I'm just not seriously anymore. And I'm not going to think that she's my friend, because she's shown me that she's not.
Then, next thing you know, I think Scott was chatting like as well. He was like, they got a lot of shade and whatnot. So then tell me why Whitney just like, maybe there's like, he basically said, people still like think I'm a game player for some reason. And then Whitney said there might be truth to that.
But fucking hell, I've been called a game player the whole time I've been in the fucking villa. Okay, now it's coming about again.
Maybe there's some truth to it.
Truth to it how? Like, she didn't even explain. Like, the thing is, people are saying that we're missing something. What are we missing? There's nothing to be missed. The guy didn't even want to sugarcoat coupling up with Amber. The guy said, we're in a friendship couple. Like, if he really was a game player, he would have been like, let me try to give Amber a try because he wanted to stay in the villa. This man did not care. He said, this is a friendship thing, and he let the whole villa know it was a friendship thing. Anyway, he was also saying that he's going to pull up Abby on that comment because why would he pull up Mitch? So they're like, oh, do you want to get the truth from Abby or Mitchell? And she said he wants to get the truth from Abby because she would have, will be the one to tell it like it is. And because how are you going to pull me from a chat yesterday and try to entertain me getting to know you, and then you want to throw it in my face during a challenge? Like, okay, that's cool, but like, he's gonna pull her for a chat. Anyway, at the end of the episode, it seems like there's gonna be little cracks in the villa dynamic. There's 18 people in that villa. Not all 18 people are gonna get along with each other. So obviously, they've been in that villa for over a week now. There needs to be some time to shake it up because that villa, having 18 people just in that villa after post Casa Amor recoupling, just was too much. Anyway, a vote is finally here. We need to shake up that villa, give the villa a perception of how it's being shown, because they think everything is cool and dandy, and it's not cool and dandy at all. So when they find out, like, yo, this person is not really well liked, they're gonna be like, okay. You know what I'm saying? But there's a vote. So I can't wait to see who gets dumped or who doesn't get dumped, whatever. Because there needs to be a change in dynamics. There needs to be a different storyline. The storyline is getting stale. Like, we got 2 weeks left with this stuff. Like, let's go. But anyway, guys, this was episode 32 of Love Island Season 10 review. And if you like the video, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, comments, concerns. And subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. And if you guys watching this video, peace.